you remember that time Newcastle got relegated? No, the other one. The time when it was really, really, really sad.
Well, we don't like those f***s, so let's have a little laugh at how their careers have spiralled into complete nothingness after they sent the Toon Doon. I'm Ross from NUFC Fans.
And I'm Adam, and this is the first in a potentially infinite series of Where Are They Now? Shay Given. Shay Given is 41 now, and not only is he still a footballer, he's living proof that class is indeed permanent. He was released by Stoke at the end of the season and was last spotted training with Macclesfield.
Fabrizio Collicini. Do you remember how Cola wanted to go back home for ages, but we kept him even though he tasted like a stale pot noodle? Well, after the second time he went down, he got that dream move back to playing in front of the terraces he stood on as a boy. That all went arse over tit though, as a back injury only allowed him to play 12 games last season before San Lorenzo coach Diego Aguirre told him to find a new club at the end of the season. Poor little Ben.
Jose Enrique, or Jose Enrique Sanchez Diaz if you want to get serious about it. After his dream move to Liverpool was remembered for him having to go and goal against us that time, Enrique finally managed to get regular football last year with Zaragoza. But he was apparently, and at 31 is currently roaming the footballing wastelands looking for a new club.
Kevin Nolan. After firing Newcastle back up and enter Premier League consolidation, Nobby Nolan went on to West Ham before leaving them to play for and manage Leyton Orient before leaving them to play and manage Notts County. 35-year-old Kevin Nolan is now a player manager in the Football League as Champ Man comes to life.
Claudio Casapa. After being sent packing by Newcastle, Casapa, or Kakapa as your dad probably called him, had very brief stints at Cruzeiro, Evian and Avia in some sort of bottled water world tour. He retired in 2011 and opened his own footballing academy, although what the f*** he had to teach anybody is open to interpretation.
Joey Barton. Joey could never keep his snotty nose clean, could he? The 34-year-old Raj Packet was fined £30,000 and is currently serving an 18-month ban after admitting placing more than 1,200 bets over a 10-year period, which of course is against Football Association rules.
Danny Guthrie. After being sold to Reading in 2012, Danny Guthrie's done a lot more with his luck than he has with his career. At one point, having a mohawk tattoo combo so bad he looked like a punk rock chicken that had been dipped in paint, Blackburn released him following relegation last season.
Obafemi Martins. Obafemi Martins' list of clubs since leaving Newcastle reads like a retired old fart going through a retirement tour, rinsing the game of football for all it's worth. The only difference is, however, he was still in his prime-ish. Oba's been to Wolfsburg, Rubin Kazan, Birmingham City, Levante, Seattle Sounders, and is now currently finding himself playing for Shanghai Shenhua. I think that's how it's pronounced. Managed by all people, Gustavo Poyet the prick.
Michael Owen. A He was a at Manchester United, a at Stoke, and now he's a on television.
Damien Duff. I was excited when we got Damien Duff for 5 million bahts, but then he was shit. Of course, after committing his future to the club after that relegation and scoring the first game of the following season, Damien Duff left. He went to play for Fulham, Melbourne City and Shamrock Rovers, where he retired in 2015 and where he's currently a first-team coach.
Sebastian Bassong. Despite looking arguably our best player the year we went down, Bassong's career faded after his move to Spurs, and he eventually fell into the Championship with Norwich. Despite only being 31, he's not kicked a ball professionally since 2015 and was released at the end of last season. I am noticing a pattern here.
Steve Harper. After staying and finally getting the season as war number 1, Steve Harper returned to the bench as Team Krul's backup after Newcastle came back up. Spells at Hull and Sunderland would follow as the same lad now coaches in the Newcastle Academy apparently.
Charles Nzogbia. Departing halfway through our relegation season for the bright lights of Wigan, Big Chucky Z never quite hit the potential he so often promised and was reported to be retiring at 30 when doctors discovered that he had a serious heart condition. Presumably that he didn't have one.
Nacho Gonzalez, who the f*** cares? The YouTube sensation ironically plays for Montevideo Wanderers, and I'm not making that up. He's also been to Greece, Spain, Belgium, Spain again, and Uruguay.
James Milner. What do you mean, what about James Milner? He played 3 games for us that season. He absolutely counts. He's at Liverpool now and has admittedly done quite well for himself.
Ryan Taylor. After a 6-year stint at Newcastle, Ryan Taylor, who got one over the wall, remember, has seen his career go through the bloody floor. After being released over the phone, a stint at Hull came and out before League Two's Port Vale came calling.
Alan Smith. Now this is a good one. After we flogged him to MK Dons, Smith then ended up at Notts County. In 2017, he was appointed caretaker manager until Kevin bloody Nolan showed up and gave him a player coach role. 36 years old, still playing football, still got a sensational head of hair.
Jonas Gutierrez from Buenos Aires was the other lad scandalously fired over the phone along with Ryan Taylor. Spider-Man has just secured a move to Independiente after some time at Defensa y Justicia. Upon leaving United, however, he went straight to Deportivo La Coruña, where I doubt he was as good as Alberluque was in that YouTube video with Sister Mr. Downs, Lost in Hollywood, playing in the background.
Cisco. Fair play to Cisco, actually. After we finally managed to get rid of him on a permanent deal, he started banging them in for Cordoba in the Segunda division. He then went to China for a bit, rattled them in there, and he's only just signed for recently relegated Osasuna.
Jeremy. My granny was faster than Jeremy when he played for Newcastle, and she was brown breed. Wikipedia claims that Jeremy was a versatile player known for his power, combative style, and free kick ability. Right off. After leaving Newcastle during the 2009-2010 campaign, Jeremy played for two teams that I can't pronounce, getting released by both of them before his contract was up. He retired from the game completely soon after, and now has vocally taken up the cause of impoverished African players who are often signed without contracts, illegally trafficked to Europe, dumped by clubs when injured, and frequently not paid. Good on him.
Habib Bey. Despite looking in the prime of his life for us, Bey went on to only play a handful of games for Aston Villa, and then only a handful more for Doncaster Rovers, eventually retiring completely in only 2012. He's now a pundit in France, albeit an obscenely handsome one.
Nicky Butt. He looks like Mr. Garrison minus the glasses and Mr. Hat these days, and is the head of coaching at Man United's Youth Academy, as well as being a co-owner of Salford City.
Shola Amiobi. The Notts County plot thickens even further here, lads, as not only is Big Kevin Nolan the manager and Alan Smith the coach, but Shola's their number 9 and is, I presume, absolutely smashing them in on the regs.
Peter Lovenkranz. We got him on a free from Germany, and then we got him on a free from nobody, and now he's coaching at Rangers.
Stephen Taylor. Last seen eating wallpaper paste for Ipswich last season, Stephen Taylor's just this week signed for League One Peterborough, so very nice that he finally found his level.
Thomas Kadar. Remember when he was supposed to be the next Bobby Moore? Well, that didn't quite work out, but fair play to Thomas Kadar. He's made a decent career playing for Roda JC, Diovetka, Lech Poznan, and now currently plays for Dynamo Kiev. And not only that, he has 39 caps for Hungary to his name. Good on him as well.
David Edgar. David Edgar is, in a very shocking turn of events, now the Prime Minister of Canada. No, I'm kidding. He was at Burnley for ages, and now he's at Vancouver Whitecaps. Mark Viduka. Presumably bored of chicken balti pies and only playing 10 games a season, Mark Viduka retired immediately after we were relegated. It might have been nice if he'd done, say, a year before, but you can't have everything in life.
Kazenga Lualua. Little Lamana made 3 league appearances during the relegation campaign before heading to Doncaster on loan once, and Brighton on loan 3 times before making the move permanent in 2011. Then Brighton got good under Chrissy Houghton, so he's farmed out to QPR on loan.
Andy Carroll. Now, look, you all know where Andy Carroll's been and what he's done, but since the year we were relegated, he's only managed 20 games in a season 3 times, and has never once scored more than 10 goals in all competitions. One, eh, lad?
Tim Krul. Even though that night in Palermo took place over a year before the relegation campaign began, Timmy still had his babby teeth, which is ironic since Rafa Benitez is currently training with the kids now. And just like that relegation campaign where he was forced to spend some time at Carlisle due to the fact he couldn't work his way into the first team, it looks like he's going to have to find his first team football elsewhere now as well.